Alright everyone, just doing a quick little video here on the FTMO challenge. If this is your first time giving my videos a watch, be sure to check them out. Here's my page right here. I have started a series where we are trying to find the best settings to pass the FTMO challenge. We're on our third attempt right now on the second week. The first week went fairly well. We started making decent profit in the very first week. Or the beginning of the week. By the end of the first week, we were in a little bit of drawdown, and moving into the third week, and that's what we're going to go over now. So I've logged on to the FTMO account here, and again, if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, be sure to check that out. I'll do a quick rundown of what we're doing though. So we are doing the $10,000 FTMO test challenge. Again, not the real challenge, it's the test challenge. And we are using the swing account, so we are able to hold the trades over the weekend and trade throughout any kind of news. The only downfall to that is that the leverage has to be 1 to 30, and they say on their website that we shouldn't be able to really notice. I haven't really noticed, but it does. You can definitely see that it does make a difference because I do run the XBot on my personal account with a leverage of 500. So you can definitely notice a little bit of a change, but let's just move on here. So as you can see right here, we have kind of failed our third attempt here, and this kind of happened near the beginning. It started to happen at the beginning of the week, so right when the market opened, we were just hovering under the 500 max daily loss mark, and I was curious on how deep it was going to go, as well as I did make a post on my stories talking about on my Instagram channel how that I think it was maybe Tuesday morning there was some news that came out on a bunch of the USD pairs, so USD-CAD, which actually affected it quite a bit, and I actually pulled up the news of when it came out versus what happened on the chart, and literally on the hour when the news came out, or shortly after the news came out, the market went, it decided to go off in the other direction, which caused us to hit our max daily drawdown limit. And then by the next day, near the end of Tuesday, we had hit the max overall loss limit, and then us not passing. So you can take a look here on some of the statistics. We were doing quite well in the beginning, and as you can see, our win rate, just our profit on the side here that you can see on the days that we were profitable, we were slowly compounding, but again, we weren't even able to make it to the end of the second week to really see where we were going. So we should be able to. So when does this one? This one ends on the 9th. So in 4 days we can start another one again, and I think we're gonna have to change the settings once again. So if you do remember, again, check out the first video. We did change our lot size, which the very first run we did run it with an auto on. The default, which would have been I think around 0.20, and as you know, when it goes into drawdown, it opens up positions a little bit bigger so that it doesn't have to return to the same spot to close all positions. So that's why you're seeing the kind of a variation of the lot size. So I think we're gonna have to lower it even more. And I did have another idea from someone saying to lower the profit denominator. So instead of it hitting, I think it's maybe 0.50, to change it into half of that, so that you know, it doesn't have to be. So we're smaller profits, but we're not waiting for the market to hit a specific, like a higher spot for it to find a close and then start with the new process. So we're taking less amount of profit in hopes that you know, it plays out better while using the EA bot. Now that's what we're going to do. Maybe if we exhaust all of our options of trying to find the specific lot size, I still believe that we can find a good lot size and still come out on top. So I think we're going to have to cut this in half again. So maybe, and again, remember, we do have a month for the real test, and it's 2 weeks for the test challenge. If we do well with the test challenge, we're going to run it for 3 weeks, but we haven't been able to make it even to the 2-week mark to even really push it to that 3 weeks, except for the very first attempt that we did, but that was with the bigger accounts. That changed shortly after when FTMO changed rules about test challenge, and that you can use any one of their test challenges that they have for the real challenges. So we chose the smallest one, which is the $10,000 one, and I think it's good to find the right settings for the smallest test before jumping into any of these big ones. So I'm just going to go over quickly onto the VPS here so I can show you guys the settings that we were using. So as you do see, we do have auto lot off, and then we did put our fixed lot to 0.13, and don't touch the risk, and I turned off safe mode. Again, some people leave it on, some people leave it off. I find when I turn it off, the bot seems to run better. But in the manual it says not to touch with that, but again, that's up to you. I'm just telling you the settings that I'm using, and what we're trying to use to find the best settings to pass the actual challenge. So just to, like I was mentioning before, the take profit, someone was talking about lowering this to maybe like 20 or 25, maybe even half of this, so that smaller increments of profit, but then, you know, if it decides to turn around, or I just feel that it could play out faster, and it's not as like we're waiting to hit this specific profit. It's like, you know, if the market's going to move a little bit in this way, at least we can get into it a little bit and gain some profit, and then exit out with the take profit, and then move on to the next trade. So we're not, you know, if it is the potential where, like, you know, maybe we're not making it because the profit is too much, and, you know, by the time that it actually gets up to that point, you know, it has to go down and up, and pretty much like a roller coaster, right? So maybe changing the take profit to something lower in the coming challenges, we can try that. But I think we're just going to change the fixed lot, and I think we're going to cut it in half again and see how well we do, because even right now I don't think I can actually tell, but I know that yeah, so we are about $496 in drawdown right now. It has really come down since the beginning of the day, which is Wednesday today. So I'm hoping that it continue to come down, because if it does, I have a better idea every time that we kind of fail, and I can kind of see how deep the drawdown goes, especially with this lot size. And if I were to kind of zoom out on one of these, I can't really do it now because it's running on this one, or maybe I can. But as you can see, like, these are all for sells here, and this was one of the pairs that really that was causing a majority of the drawdown. As you can see, it's slowly recovering here, but you know, it's been kind of, if it played out properly, it should have went down from this area. So it has been climbing up, and it's kind of good to see how far up it went. And the highest drawdown I think we had was around $1,100, if I'm correct. So it's good information to have for the next challenges that we made, that we're going to try, the attempts. And so anytime that we ever fail a challenge, I always see it as like a learning opportunity, and that we can use it for the next challenge to hopefully pass it. So those are the settings for the XXX bot. Again, when we start the new challenge, when this one finishes, by the end of the week, when we get started the next week, we will change the settings and let it run off again. So I'm going to close this up here now. I think that's pretty much it, though. We went over everything. You guys know everything about the account. We know that we have hit our daily and max overall drawdown limit, and you guys have seen the statistics and the profit that we've made every day. Again, we started off fairly strong here. You can see on the 27th and the 28th, so 2 days, you know, pretty much consecutive days after we started the challenge, and then it kind of just slowed down. And then by you know, the 5th, well, I guess not the 5th, but in between this area right here, you can see that you know, well, there was some profit, but our drawdown obviously outweighed our profit. So that's pretty much the way the cookie crumbled on this challenge. You know, I told you guys this wasn't going to be easy, and we're definitely going to have to fish around for the right settings, but I feel that we're going in the right direction, and I still believe that the swing account is the right account to be using. Again, if anyone has any suggestions or ideas, that's not suggesting another EA bot, something that is either help towards, or an idea while using this bot, or something that we could do to come out on top. So again, thanks for anyone that watched. Be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I hope you guys have a good evening. Take care.